Here we have the Muggsy. What a good boy Muggsy is. What a good boy. Alright, this vlog is going to be on something very new to me. It's composting. So what we have here is this compost bin. It's this real nice cylinder that has these handles, and that's easy for it to tumble. So you pull them down. Whoa. It has these handles, so you pull them down and you hear all that goodness in there just turning. This one is from the local carbon network. All right, so basically there are two chambers. We've got a left and a right, and there's a divide in between. So when you first get this, what you'll do is you'll load it up with all the scraps of food that you have. And what you'll do is you'll add it with different things such as biochar and sawdust. And what those do is it makes the mixture not as soupy and like liquidy. It gives it a little bit of texture to absorb, kind of like coffee. So we're gonna open this up. And this one looks like it's still loading up, but we have another one in the back. Well, I'll show you right now. So here's another tumbler in the back. So you open this bad boy up and it's starting to smoke. What's happening right here is it's actually the biodiversity in there is actually going and cooking it. So while this one cooks, this one's empty. It's basically waiting for an entire set. So we'll take this out and we'll actually use it as soil. So for this lemon tree, for example, now this thing is growing a few lemons here and there. Here's a nice little lemon right there. So all this compost right here came from that bin, and it gives life to this tree, this lemon tree, and you can still use it. So we're basically using old scraps of food and turning it into reusable product. So what they do here is they basically collect a bunch of dried brown leaves, you know, foliage that starts to die off, and they put it into the compost. And what it does is it basically cuts all that waste that you're using and makes it into kind of like a nice formed coffee ground substance. You don't want it like a slurry, like water. Especially this thing is going to start to smell because it's just stagnant. It's going to start dripping all over the place. So you want something that absorbs it. First, what you need is biochar. And that's also going to take the gases, the methane that emits from all the activity inside this thing. Second thing you need is sawdust, and that's basically to absorb and make this not so watery. Basically absorbs all that juice that the product is making. And 4 to 6 weeks, you keep this in 4 to 6 weeks, and it starts to do its thing. You want to rotate it, make sure that it's doing its thing right. And it also adds oxygen, and you need oxygen because without it, that heat dies. When you add that tumble, that's what that adds to it. This one is just empty, so after 4 to 6 weeks, as you saw, you'll add that to all the stuff here, and then you'll start to load this one up, and then this one will be the empty one, and you just keep doing that every 4 to 6 weeks, back and forth, and that's composting. I really don't know too much about composting. This is actually like a introductory course for me because I just moved here, didn't really know too much about it. The apartment we have in Oakland doesn't have a garbage disposal. It just has this basically a bin for compost, and then downstairs in the apartment you will basically have something very similar to this, and you put it in the compost and the city will take care of it. They'll just come over and take your compost. I really, before I moved here, had no idea about any of it. I don't even know if I was recycling right, but you know, now that we live in California, I'm trying to assimilate and learn and educate and be more mindful of stuff like this. So yeah, this is the first vlog on composting. Make sure to like, subscribe, and we'll come with more content in the near future. So for example, this is compost. This is like a bunch of waste that we want to take instead of put into the trash can, because usually it would decay, get all stinky, and then you just don't like it. But what we're going to do is take all this waste that we have from the day. It's already 2 full small like Chinese containers, and we're just going to put it into the tumbler. This is like coffee grounds, this is rinds from an avocado, this is rind from a cantaloupe, and I think there's egg shells in there, banana peels, yeah. So all the waste that we have, just dump it right in. Right into the mix. So this is the browns. This is basically a, what is this, 31 ounce? So this is 31 ounces of just sawdust. It's called the browns. And we're just gonna add that in there, mix that right in there.
Sometimes I use shredded paper from my shredding machine.
Oh, that'll add too. That's nice. That's smart. So what we'll do now is we'll lock this bad boy up, and then we'll start tumbling it. It's the mug. See, it's the mug. See.